Good evening, world. Welcome to Jews Word Podcast, episode 52. Episode 52. Y'all bear with me. I'm setting everything up. I'm setting everything up, y'all. Oh, yeah. So, episode 52. Episode 52 of Jews Word Podcast, Ctrl Alt Delete. That's the topic for tonight, Ctrl Alt Delete. And I know a lot of you guys understand that that's part of the reprogramming of the computer. You got programs running in the background, Ctrl Alt Delete, close out a task out, restart your computer. That'll prevent your computer from freezing. That's the countermeasure for your computer freezing, Ctrl Alt Delete. Closing all of your apps or anything that's running in the background as a program. So when it comes to our life, what happens when your life freezes? What happens when your life freezes? When your life freezes up, you have to Control Alt Delete some things. For example, you might have a system overload, right? You might have repeat toxic cycles. Those things take you down mentally, spiritually, and emotionally, and you have to Control Alt Delete and remove things out of your life to overcome that. Emotional overload, that's another thing that'll cause you to Control Alt Delete, remove people out of your life. Spiritual burnout. Spiritual burnout is a good one too. A lot of these things right here, this causes your life to freeze. Being stuck in the same patterns. You keep meeting somebody, you keep dating, you're going through the same thing over and over again, whether it's a job, whether it's with your family, whether it's with your kids, whether it's with your husband, your wife, your kids, mom. If it's always a continuous cycle, that means that your life is at a freeze. If you go through repeat toxic cycles, emotional overload, spiritual burnout, and being stuck in the same patterns. These things in life require, it's going to make your life freeze. And basically what you're going to do, you're going to have to Control Alt Delete some things out of your life. Take back control. When you think about take back control, control means ownership. You take ownership of your life. We all have to understand what gets us stuck, what causes our life to freeze. We right now in situations or going into situations or coming out of situations that have froze our life. So what do you do to counteract that? What do you do to correct that? Many people are letting other people control their life. And I'm going to give you an example of that. Family expectations is one. Your family expectations will control your life. The mantras your parents gave you, the way they raised you. Oh, you can't do this, or you don't need to do that. Those things right there, they control you. Those societal, religious, and social constructs. Those are constructs that are put in place to taught you how to live your life. Past trauma. Bad relationships, bad experiences with your family, bad experiences with your baby mama, your baby daddy, kid's father, kid's mom. I don't like to say baby mama, baby daddy. But you think about those. Past trauma, whether it's work, whether it's anything that happened at your job, anything that happened just at school when you growing up, like some things that stuck with you. Ex-relationships. Ex-relationships is one of them. Fear of judgment. These are the things that transpire and you allow people to control your life in different aspects. And we all need to take account of our life and take accountability to look at ourselves and be like, well, who have I been letting control my life up until this point of my awakening? Who have I let been controlling me like a remote control? You know, and it's raw, but hey, it is what it is. It is what it is. Because the thing about it is, I'm sorry, y'all, I was adjusting this camera. It was shaking. The thing about it is we have, before we understand who we are and what we deserve and our value, we all tend to let people control our life, whether it's your mom, your dad, your significant other, whether it's you, like I said, your kids. Like, you have to do some things for you. What makes you happy? What keeps you at peace? What makes you happy? What keeps you at peace? And so when you really think about it, If you don't take control of your mind, somebody else will. And I've been going on this journey, going down a wormhole and understanding how to take my control back of my life, not letting attachments and experiences control the traffic. We're not going to let experiences, family expectations, past trauma, and fear of judgment control the traffic in our life. Take your life back. Because when you realize a lot of times people don't value, and you understand that you value, you understand what you bring to the table, you understand who you are and what you hold within. You don't let people control you because you don't care about past trauma. You're going to do what you got to do, the shadow work to heal that. Family expectations. Yeah, that's your family expectations. You respect it. But it might not be suitable for you in your life. It might have worked for your mom and your dad or your grandma or your sister, your brother, but it might not work for you because everything isn't for everybody. And even fear of judgment. We shrink because we so worried about what people are going to say, the people that are supposed to love us, closest to us, friends, significant other. Man, a lot of us have been sleeping with the enemy. Whether it's boyfriend, girlfriend, fiance, baby mama, baby daddy, husband, wife, sleeping with the enemy. But you have to really take evaluation in your life and take accountability for the things that you allowed to happen. Only way people can control you is if you allow them to control you, because you have a fear of betraying the people that love you, have a illusion of loyalty, like the real I did yesterday, an illusion of loyalty. Sometimes the people that hurt you the most are the people that's closest to you, who knows everything about you. And we have to understand that. So this is my question to you guys. Who's controlling your decisions? I wrote that question down and I was thinking about it. Who's controlling your decisions? Are you living intentionally or are you just reacting to life? And a lot of times we catch ourselves up in the whirlwind of just reacting to life. Sometimes you got to take leadership of your own life. Don't take no for an answer. If this doesn't work, don't get down on it. Don't get too high on a good situation. Don't get too low on a bad situation. If something doesn't work, it's just a detour and it's a reroute from God. It wasn't meant to happen. So just thank God for saving you for saying no. And when he says no, it's either no, I have something better, or no, not yet. And that's how it normally goes. And all of these things in our life, guys, don't get it confused. All these things are character building exercises. When you go through hard times in life, it's a character building exercise. Everything builds character. You pray for patience, you're going to go through hard times. You pray for courage, you're going to go through things that require your courage. You go through wisdom, you're going to go through situations that are going to require you to use your wisdom. That's why wisdom is the best thing to pray for. Discernment is also. This helps us get through these points in time. And you have to realize that when you wake up to remember who you are, what you deserve, and what you don't deserve, because that's all we do when we go through a tragic situation or trauma. We be willing to change our life and do things and try to level up. But pain is the catalyst for change. Pain is meant for you to remember who you are. How do you know your value if you don't know what's not valuable? How do you know what love is until you know what love isn't? How do you know what loyalty is until you know what loyalty isn't? How do you know what patience is until you know what patience isn't? Peace, love, joy. All of these smaller, intricate things, micro expressions, but they have such a heavy meaning and a heavy role in our life. It's nothing wrong with being selfish. It's nothing wrong with being selfish. It's okay to be selfish. How can you hear God and how can you elevate if you have such loud noise around you at all times, whether it's family, friends, whomever? If you can't get to yourself, pull yourself back, all the energy you've been giving out, you got to call yourself back from the people that you've experienced, even people you were intimate with. You got to call yourself back. When you heal from a situation, you got to call yourself back. So you won't romanticize that hurt and that pain back. You have to realize. You really have to realize what's good and what's not. So we did control. Now we're on alt. Alter your perspective. Growth requires changing the way you see things. Failure becomes feedback, pain becomes instruction, and betrayal becomes discernment. That's when you start thinking that everybody, man, I can't trust them. Everybody out to get me. That's what happened when you allow yourself to move so loosely and make decisions. Because my question to everybody out there tonight is, if we're made in God's image, we can't breathe without God. We're created with him in us. We're made in their image. So we have all these things that we can't do nothing without him. What made us think we can think without him, make decisions that's important for our life without him? Why not pray for wisdom and discernment? Because it's going to save you a lot of heartache. It's going to save you a lot of heartache. It is. Like I said, failure becomes feedback. These are examples of things before you make an alter on your life. Failure becomes feedback. Pain becomes instruction. Like I said, you fail, so okay, boom, what did I do wrong? And it's not even so much as what I do wrong when you fail, because you're not in that mindset yet. So it's going to be like, dang. That's when you get down on yourself. You start speaking negative against yourself. And guys, like I tell you, it's always important to realize that there's power in the tone. It's so important to speak life, carry life, present life. Watch your energy. Watch how you breathe. Watch how you carry. Watch how you think. Because you can speak life just thinking bad. Thinking good. Your thoughts are just important as you open your mouth and speaking. We have to really be careful with that. Remove words out of our vocabulary. Can't. Try. Stuff like that. Anything that's negative. Remove those things out of your vocabulary. We're not trying to do anything. We're doing it. One step at a time, you're doing it. What are you trying? It's like you try to take a step. Either you take a step or you don't. Or you take a baby step or you don't. It's all it is. But I went down a wormhole about this, y'all. I really did. Because we think about it. When you really look back over your life and where you are now and realize where you came from and what God brought you through to bring you where you are, you're going to appreciate life more. You start to realize your value in life, your value to God. He looked at us and said we're good, lightness and darkness as a whole. He created your weaknesses in your darkness. He created that too. So he said we're good. So you have to accept who God said about you. And that's realizing, you know what? You have to be confident. Self-love, self-care. Pour into yourself. Do things that's going to heighten your intelligence. Read so you can increase your vernacular when it comes to vocabulary. Do things opposite. You want a different change in your life? Do things opposite. Everything you did in life and you got a bad result out of it. Well, I ain't going to say bad because, I don't believe in bad decisions. I believe in you weigh your options and you felt like that was your best option. Nobody can explain how you feel or judge you how you feel because they're not in your situation. So how can they tell you what choice you should have made? I'm a firm believer in that. Definitely a firm believer in that. But you get to a point when you're tired of going through loops. You're tired of toxicity. You're tired of always having to be in survival mode. You want peace and love and relax and enjoy. Like you just want to be able to just live life free without worrying about anything. And I think that it takes you sick and tired. Your parents used to say, when you're sick and tired of being sick and tired, you'll be sick and tired. That's what it takes in life. Sometimes it takes you being sick and tired to seek a different option. Because you see the same thing. You think about it. How many of us right now are caught in the loop of, here we go through this again. Every 6 months with somebody or something is always something. But it's okay though. But don't get it confused. When you start your journey, you're gonna have, what's the word I'm looking for, guys? You're gonna have rebellion against your empire you're trying to build and working on yourself. You're doing your shadow work. You're gonna have something that's gonna rebel because all goodness has an enemy. What it say in the Bible? Every time I try to do right, evil is always present. And you think about that. Think about how many times you've done right. You took the extra step to be intentional with your movements, intentional with your speech, intentional with your thought process, intentional on working with yourself, being a very best version of yourself, and somebody come out trying to bring the old you out. That's a test. It's a distraction. Anything that's not pushing you towards God or push you towards a more positive lifestyle, like providing for your kids, more money, more peace, more love, more joy, not even much. Right, Cam. Right, Cap. Setbacks. Those are distractions and setbacks. They are. But you got to recognize them. That's why it's best and so important for you to pray for discernment and wisdom. Because the more you control, alt, and delete the things out of your life, to get your life off of freeze. Like I said, Ctrl Alt Delete is when the computer freezes, right? So you hit Ctrl Alt Delete and you go to your task manager and you delete all of those programs to reset your whole computer, right? So we have to do that with our life, spiritually, mentally, emotionally, and physically. If somebody or something is in your life, it is not pushing you to be the very best version of yourself, or it's not pushing you to reach new heights that you've never reached before. Uncharted territory, God's wonder, the wilderness, if I must. Same thing Jesus went through, the wilderness. When you made that intentional decision that you want better and you're going to live better, you're going to go through the wilderness. And when you go through the wilderness, what happened in the wilderness? Was Jesus not tempted in the wilderness? Reset and recalibration? Yes. Ctrl Alt Delete, reset, restart, and refocus. Recalibrate. But when Jesus was in the wilderness, did he not receive opposition? What? The devil tried to give him the world, right? The devil tried to give him the world. But he didn't let that distraction deter him from meditating to God. It was basically an interruption with the direct line, praying to God. That's when Jesus got tempted in the wilderness. And you have to look at yourself, because we're made in his image and he breathes his breath in us. And we can't live without him. We can't move without him. We can't think without him. So right now on your journey, what is in your wilderness? What is your distractions? What is your setbacks? What are the things that tries to determine and take your vision off of what God got you? Because we were always told, keep your mind focused on God. Keep your eyes on God. He'll remove all the obstacles out your path, right? No matter what. Think about Peter when he finally wanted to get off the boat. He asked, if you the Lord of Lords, let me come to you. He was walking on water, was he not? Until when? When he took his eyes off of Christ. And we all could take a lesson from that. No matter what you're going through in life, always keep your eyes on the prize. Keep your eyes on God. Keep your eyes on God. Who said, look to the hills from which cometh my help. Keep your eyes focused on him. Keep your eyes focused. You got to. That's the only thing we have to hold on to this world. So be careful with your energy. Be careful who you let in your biofield. Be careful who you hang out with. Because everybody does not have your best interest at heart. Everybody doesn't really like you. Just being 100. People don't like you. They only like you for the benefit of you being strong, because they benefit off of you being a people pleaser, being somebody who don't know who you are, because they can control the traffic. Your energy, your biofield, you just want to be a good person, you're a big-hearted person, and normally people with big hearts always get taken advantage of, and we find ourselves in messed up situations. So until you realize who you are and your value and what God said that's valuable about you, you're going to go through that. You're going to go through loops. Because ain't no in-between. Either you're awoke or you're not. Either you're putting forth your best effort to be the very best version of yourself every second of the day, putting in the shadow work. And it's not easy. It's hard. Either you're going to put in that work to be a very best version of yourself, or you're just going to fall to the wayside and fall back in the same old habits, the same old distractions. How many times have we been in loops? And we swore it was love. We swore it was love. You had to Ctrl Alt Delete the ass out of there. You had to. Gaslighting, love bombing. What's another one? Manipulation. Watch out for envy. Watch out for jealousy. You think about it. A lot of people just want to get close to you just to get your energy. You know, the energy vampires out here. They just want to be up under you. They don't want to progress in their life. They don't want to get tips from you. They don't want to learn. They just want to see what makes you tick. What makes you so special? And what they're going to try to do, they're going to try to tear you down. Right, Meech? Monitoring spirits. That's what they call them, monitoring spirits. They monitor your life and they want to get close to you. I had a conversation 2 days ago. Selena. Y'all remember the famous actress Selena? She got unalived by the manager of her fan club. Now imagine, how long has she been watching Selena? How long has she been planning to get close to Selena? How long has she set that plan out to be patient, to be strategic, just to get close to her when the time showed what happened? See what I'm saying? You have to really be careful. You have to vet people. And I had to learn this the hard way. And I'm pretty sure y'all had to also. You can't let everybody in your battlefield. Negativity, bad energy? Nope. Jealousy, hating? Nope. Slick comments? Nope. Somebody feel like, oh, that little podcast, that little business you got, that little. Anybody say anything about anything little? No. Because everything I do is capital B-I-G. On God. Yeah. So you got to be careful with the micro expressions. I had to learn that too. Micro expressions. You can feel the energy. Trust your energy. Trust yourself. How can you trust God if you don't trust yourself? How can you say you love God and you don't love yourself? We made in his image. Right. Big, big, all caps. Right. But yeah, how can you trust God if you don't? How can you trust yourself if you don't trust God? How can you love yourself if you don't love God? We're made in his image. So how can you say, I'm on my self-love journey, but you don't love yourself enough to remove yourself from a toxic situation or abusive situation? We have to really take accountability for allowing us to be in these situations. We have red flags. We just speed straight through them. That's what we do. And it costs us dearly. It does. It really does. Some people, they want elevation without deletion. Some people want to elevate without removing their old lifestyle, your old mindset, your old mantras, your old crew, whoever it is. When you're going through that process of elevation, God is going to remove and strip everything that you picked up and acquired that you feel like this is my identity. We look up to people, we pick up habits. And God never even gave us a message to say that's how we're supposed to be. He didn't even say that's for us. So why are we carrying things that's not for us? You can't carry somebody else's problems. We hear a lot of people say, will you pray for me? Will you pray for me? Yes, I don't mind praying for anybody. But we have to take accountability to understand that all of us are made in God's image. We can pray for ourselves. Think about it. When Jesus was blessing people, what you said means anything you have to compromise your peace for is self-betrayal. Yes, anything that you compromise your peace for is self-betrayal. And to me, that's the worst sin you can ever commit, is not be who God made you to be and not live up to who God wants you to be because you're so busy trying to be like everybody else. Self-betrayal. You think about that. When your life unfroze, what do? A lot of people want elevation without deletion. They don't want to give up their old mindset, their old hangout spots, their old crew, their old mantras and constructs and ideology. Because I'm going to tell y'all something on this journey. Every piece of ideology I thought I had, it don't even measure up to God's ideology. Get that out of here. Throw that in the trash. Get rid of everything. When God says you have to make room for his blessings, that's what he's talking about. A lot of us, we miss out on blessings. A lot of us miss out on blessings because the wrong people we're around, our own mindset, the things that we mumble. Think about the people in the desert for 40 days and 40 nights. I'm sorry. Yeah, think about the people who was in the desert when they got out of Egypt. When Moses was leading them out the desert to the promised land. All they had to do was stop complaining. All they had to do was stop complaining. They would have made it at a quicker time than 40 years in the desert. Crazy. Right, the children of Israel. Right. Pray for yourself and build your own altar with God. Yes. Yes. Build your own altar with God. That's a good one, Meech. The children of Israel. That's what I was talking about, the children of Israel. Build your own altar for God. God knows you better than anybody. He knows what you're going to do before you do it. He already knows. He can count the hair on your head. So why not just keep it P and talk to him and be like, Lord, I'm struggling with this. Lord, I feel stupid. Because why I keep letting this person play with me? Lord, show me what I'm doing wrong. But also, like I said, you have to be careful what you pray for. Because when he show you, if you can't Let me tell you something. You have to be ready. Be careful what you wish for. Be careful. Don't pray for anything that you are not ready to be disciplined and locked down and be a good steward of. Because God will bless you with something when you feel like you're not ready and you mishandle it. Now, you're not a good steward, then God removes it from you. Like I say, God give it, then God take it away. A 3-day journey turned into the wilderness experience. Facts. It's supposed to have been a 3-day journey. They ended up in them 40 years because of they moaning and groaning. They not speaking life. They not thinking life. They injure how to carry themselves in life. They're not walking in their authority. They're not walking in the divine masculinity or divine feminine. They just walking, just complaining. We miss out on a lot of blessings in life because we complain. Everything happened for a reason. God gonna turn everything bad for our good. But in order for him to do that, what he said when he started healing people, does your faith make you whole? You can say, Lord, come heal me. Lord, I'm ready. I'm ready for my new season of life. But do you believe that he can give you that? Or do you believe that you're ready? Do you believe that you're deserving of that? Two things can be right and two things can be wrong at the same time. No alignment, just reckless facts. If you're not in alignment, you sleep. If you're not in alignment with God, you sleep. And it took the ups and downs and trials and tribulations of life for me to realize that. Because there's always somebody who has it worse. But you really have to take time to really think about it. Am I ready? Because ready is not an emotion. Ready is a decision. So the minute you make your decision is when you're ready. But it's on you. Nobody can do it for you. You have to make the decision for yourself. If you're not in alignment, you're walking in disobedience. Facts. If you're not in alignment with God, you're walking in disobedience. And I realized that. Because you ever notice how, we're going to say dating, because that's like the biggest toxic thing in the world right now. You think about dating. How many times we met the same person 3 times? How many times we met the same people 5 times? They be the different body, but the same soul. Man, come on. Lord, what am I doing wrong? Man, listen. But you have to be able to recognize that. You have to. Even the same friends. You've had friends that met people that's been around you. And you're like, okay, that's cool. Then nothing goes the way it goes. Totally different. It's just, phew. Man, you have to take evaluation of everybody in your life. Take self-account. Take inventory. Take inventory. Anything that costs you your peace, your joy, your black girl magic, your black boy joy. Anything that's causing you all of that is too expensive. Because if it's taking off your peace, your love, and your joy, what you gonna have to give to your kids? What you gonna have to give to yourself? What you gonna have? One thing in life that I've realized when these 38 years on this earth, the most precious thing you have is time. Time is so valuable. Time is super valuable, and it's something that we can never get back. Something we can never get back. Everybody has things that they have to deal with. Everybody has things they have to grow through. But can you look at yourself in the mirror and your flaws and your darkness and be like, yep, that's me, big dog, and still be confident? Yeah, my ideology was that, but it changed now. You know, it's okay to change your mind. We're free to change your mind whenever. Whatever part of your journey you on, and you going through, you Mary J. Blige sliding down the wall by Casey, and you know what I'm saying, you Ike and Tina Turner, and you know what I'm saying, like you Bobby and Whitney. I mean, but they was in love though. Hey, that Bobby Whitney wasn't bad though. I ain't even hold you. Hey, but for real though, when you going through those situations, man, and you feel a strife and anger and frustration, what do? Do the things, focus on the things that you can control. You can't control how life happens. You can't control what happens to you. You can't control what hand you dealt with. But you got to have the confidence. If you got a full deck of spades and you ain't got nothing but 2 face cards and ain't number but dang on red and black and ain't no spades, everything but spades. And you got them 2 trump, you got to play that hand. You got to be strategic. So whatever life, however you started off, it's not how you started off. Some people started off in the projects. Some people started off staying where they grown. Some people started off in a rich neighborhood with a silver and gold spoon. Some people didn't. Some people started off homeless. It doesn't matter. Nobody can judge nobody. But the thing about it is, it's not the beginning, it's the ending of your destination. What you gonna do? You have to focus on the beauties of life. It's beauty in the journey. Appreciate that, Miss Star Billful. I appreciate that. I try, man. That's what prayer do. Prayer and reading books. Prayer and reading books. I'm telling you. If it weren't for God, I won't be up here and talk to y'all. You really have to think about it, guys. You really do. What are we doing with our life right now? Who's controlling your life? Are you moving with intention or you just reacting to life? That's another. It's a couple $1 million questions I didn't drop. I love that. That's the $1 million question. That's $1 million test. That's what it is. But you think about it. We really have to take accountability, because the reason why a lot of people don't like to go on their journeys because they don't like to look at themselves in the mirror. They don't like to look at their darkness. They don't like to look at their ugliness. They don't like to look at the things that they feel like they need to fix, or they don't want people to see them supposedly down. But that's shrinking in itself. Man, if I'm walking with a limp, you can't worry about what somebody say because you limping. Life happened. Like, why would you judge somebody because they limping? Like, just the small things people get embarrassed by. If your car rattling, man, listen. Man, drive that mug. Drive it. A to B. At least you got a car. You got to think about it. It's always somebody who got it worse. It's a man that's in a car, wants a more expensive car. It's a man who works a 9 to 5 that's not wealthy, wishes he was wealthy. It's a man who's riding a bike, wish he had a car. It's a man who riding a bus, wish he had a bike. It's a homeless man, wish they had a house. It's a paraplegic, wishing they could walk to ride a bike, or even ride the bus. We can't get too caught up. Like I said, you can't get too high in a situation. You can't get too low. But you have to appreciate it for what it is. A wise man once told me, once you've done all you can do, that's all you can do. Let that marinate. Once you've done all you can do, no matter what situation, no matter where it is. You've done everything you're supposed to do. That's all you can do. We have to realize that we can't control the outcome. All we can do is perform the action. Because remember, every good decision you make has a positive and negative connotation to it. Like I say, goodness has an enemy. So you can make that decision, and it's the correct decision you're supposed to make. But be careful, you're going to get some feedback. You definitely are. It don't matter what it is, whether it's traffic, whether it's your son not getting up in time for school, missing the bus, any little thing to make you take your mind off of focus on what you're supposed to be focusing on. You can't fuss about everything. Accept it for what it is. See what was the incorrect thing, learn the lesson from it, find the silver lining, and move on. We can't worry about what we can't control. When you realize that you can't save the world and you can't control the world, and all you have to worry about is you control you with pure intentions, that's all that matters. It don't matter. Calling names, whatever. Man, listen, you can't worry about nobody talking about you. They talked about Jesus, did they not? You gotta understand, if they ain't talking about you, that means you doing something wrong. What though be said. Listen, ain't never too much haters. Ain't never too many haters. Ain't never too many paper. Too much paper. I'm telling you. If you got 17, like Cat Williams said, you need 18 by the end of the year. That's how much pressure you got to be applying with your life. That's how much pressure you got to be applying with your life. And you don't have to announce everything. Move in silence. Sometimes we tend to speak out of season and mess up the blessings God got for us because we want to run and tell everybody. Keep your mouth closed. Sit down somewhere. Stay out the way. Work. Take care of your kids. Stack money. Travel. Enjoy life. Do things that make you happy. That's all it is. And it sounds so simple, but it's not. It's very difficult. But nobody can make that decision but you. And your decision-making skills is going to determine whether you're ready or not. It's very important. So after you Control Alt Delete your computer, it restarts clean, fresh, like nothing happened. Clear it out. Life works the same way. Sometimes we've been so used to being accustomed to being in toxic and dark situations that when we finally get a divine level of peace, we don't know how to handle it. Man, listen, when you're not used to peace, it doesn't even matter. You're going to have a whole different reaction to it when you experience the real thing. You are. Because God's way and our way is totally different. Any type of ideology I had, like I said before earlier in this live, any type of ideology I had, what love was, what respect was, what loyalty was, some things I was right on, but a lot of things, man, listen, I had no clue. No clue whatsoever. So whatever ideology you have, and you feel like, oh, I know what's best, ask God to show you the way. Build your personal relationship with God and talk to him. Talk to him like you talk to your homeboy. Talk to him. Because the thing about it is, the person you want to be is on the other side of the wilderness. You got to go through something to get to something. But like I said, we all feel like we want elevation without deletion. You got to remove some things. You got to cut that dead weight to elevate. You can't go up to the next level with everything that you brought from that. Because everything that you're going through, everything that triggered you, everything that caused you trauma, everything that put you in a dark spot, the lessons in those situations are going to prepare you for that next level. And you have to be able to look and see, discern, oh yeah, they playing, they gaslighting, they love bombing. They don't fool me for real. Micro expressions. Read the room. It's so important that we read the room. Very important. But when you reset your mind, when you Control Alt Delete like the computer does and it resets and restarts, and you Control Alt Delete the negativity out of your life, things that's hindering you and holding you back, you're going to reset, restart, and refocus. So when you reset, restart, and refocus, you're resetting new boundaries, new mindsets, new habits. You trust God directs you more than your fear. If things don't go your way, it's not time yet. Let me stay focused. If I get denied, God reroute me. Even down to the point of when you're late for work. Dang, I was trying to leave 30 minutes ago. Dang, I'm an hour late normally than what I normally do. Look at it like this. That's God protection. He probably protect you from something. That's my ideology. That's my thoughts. Think what you will. Don't let me tell you what to think, but that's what I do. That's my ideology, my vernacular. That's how I look at everything. Don't get so caught up in the hype. Don't. What they say, real eyes lies, and real eyes realize, however that phrase go. I messed that one up, y'all, but it's cool though. He said realize, however you say it. But yeah, vex people. Use your discernment. Use your wisdom. You praying for these things, you're going to go through tests that's going to help you acquire those attributes. You pray for, like I said, you pray for patience. You're going to go things that's going to test your patience. You pray for wisdom. Right, Star. Right. It's always protection. It's always. Even the things that you want to go into. Even when it comes down to your career. You did all the study, you went to all these classes, and then you're just like, it's not for me. But it's okay though, because you develop that character building with the fact of being able to lock in and be disciplined on the things that you want. You're going to need that discipline. You're going to need that ambitiousness. You're going to need that. You're going to need that go-getter. You're going to need that get up and go about yourself. You're going to need it. Then my mom used to say, you have some get up and go about yourself. You have some get up and go about yourself. And we definitely do. We get too comfortable. We get too complacent. And growth is outside of comfort. If you're comfortable, you're not growing. You have to be uncomfortable. You have to be uncomfortable. Because when you're comfortable, you can control and you know what's what. But you got to step off that boat like Peter did and step out on faith. Never stop learning. Learn something new every day. Because I wasn't too big on reading books. I'm not even gonna lie to y'all. I wasn't too big on reading books. But this journey, like, man, I've read so many books, and it's really helped me spiritually, mentally, and emotionally. Like, it really is like knowledge. And when they say the phrase of, you don't want somebody to read it, put it in, man, that's true. Man, reading is definitely fundamental. And I was never a big fan of reading. I did it, but I wasn't a fan of it. It was my first option. But now, yeah, I love to read. Keeps you focused, keeps you at peace, keeps you grounded, keeps you level. It's so important to never lose your fire to what you're trying to do, whatever you're trying to accomplish. Very important not to lose your fire, because if you lose your fire to pour into yourself to get to the next level, you forget where you came from when you get this blessing, you're going to resort back to it. Look at MC Hammer, because he was trying to take care of everybody. Look how many famous people you know that have been blessed with money and they just, because they're not a good steward of it. To whom much is given, much is tested. And to whom much is given, much is required. We have to understand that. I learned that early in age. You hanging out with your friends, everybody do something, don't nobody get in trouble, but you do it, now you don't know who get in trouble. Right. That's God telling you that's not for you. No, you're not going to be like everybody. You're going to stand on your own. So we have to really think about that. Like I said, when you reset, restart, refocus, you reset, you set new boundaries, you have a new mindset, you have new habits, and you walking on faith. You walking by faith. Everything is faith. Faith is a faith. Faith is not a field walk. Life is a faith walk, not a field walk. You can't be true to your emotions. You can't. You have to understand. Let me get at my feelings, because ain't no money in there. Let me get at my feelings. Ain't no money in there. Ain't no blessings in there. Ain't no wisdom in there. Ain't no discernment in there. Ain't no peace. There's no clarity. There's no joy in your emotions. Unless it's positive emotions. Sometimes you have to love yourself enough to reset your life. Sometimes you gotta love yourself enough to reset your life. People be going through nervous breakdowns, anxiety. Man, take a vacation. Take a step back. Look at the panoramic view. Take a step back in life from the smoke and mirrors. Because that's all life is smoke and mirrors. Look what's going on in the government. Smoke and mirrors, lies. Everything is lies. So make sure you understand your wisdom and your discernment is going to prevent you from getting distracted and getting pulled off your path. That's going to help you stay focused no matter what's going on. You can lose your house and whatever happened, and your faith is going to hold you steady. You're going to feel it. Through traumatic situations, you're going to feel it. But your faith got to be stronger than your fear. Faith definitely got to be stronger than your fear. I'm going to close out this live by saying this. And I wrote this down, and I'm going to let y'all know. We have to realize that our life isn't frozen. Our life isn't really frozen. Our operating system, our mentality is running an outdated software platform. It's running outdated software. If you get it, if you know, you know. It's not so much your life is stuck. It's running old software. So when you go through elevation and you transition and you integrate into your new life and your blessings you've been manifesting and talking to God about and new opportunities, sometimes those opportunities have been there. Because you don't supposed to chase money opportunities. They're supposed to chase you. You're supposed to attract them. And how do you attract money? How do you attract opportunities? How do you attract a more peaceful and abundant life? Work on yourself, the shadow work. The more you love yourself, the more God is going to bless you. Because if, like I said, if you love yourself, you love in Him. If you care for yourself, then maybe you care for God. Because we're made in His image. Self-love goes really, really deep. When you look at yourself, you take a sit back and look at your situation. Look where you are right now at this current moment while you listen to my voice on this live. Think about your life. Think about where you are. Wherever the negativity is, Then think about what all the positivity is. Go where you celebrate it, not where you tolerate it. Sometimes we get too caught up in getting attachment to the experiences, because people in your life, long term, short term, seasons, reasons, lessons and blessings. But it's up to you to observe and not absorb. Observing is being in the situation and learning the lesson and going through whatever you chose to make the decision to go through. Absorbing is staying there when you're staying there too long and you're trying to hold on to something that's not meant to stay. All good things come to an end. That's why it's so important to observe. Read the room. As your life shifts, doesn't mean that, oh, that person is causing you to fall back. No, because you're choosing them over God. You're choosing your friendship over God, trying to get your attention and get all of your existence to focus on something He's trying to tell you that's going to be important for you and your kids and your family. And we tend to go through things because we don't use our discernment, like I told y'all. But remember that your life is not frozen. It's not frozen like a computer. But if it is, it's running an outdated program. So update your program. Take time to isolate. Get to yourself. Take account of things that you need to improve on. Look at yourself in the mirror. And for all the people who are married, all the people who are engaged, all the people who has a boyfriend and girlfriend, best friends, close family members that are with you on this walk, my question to all you guys is, can your family, friends, and your significant other tell you the truth about you? And you understand this constructive criticism and it's out of love for you to get better and they want to pull the best out of you? Are you able to receive constructive criticism about who you are by your family, friends, or significant other? They really mean well for you. Can they tell you the truth about you? And can you tell them the truth about themselves? That's something we need to really realize and really take time to really think about. Because unconditional love is going to cover a multitude of things. When you love yourself unconditionally, when you love the people around you in your circle, they love you back unconditionally. It covers a multitude of things. So I appreciate you guys tapping in. I appreciate y'all tapping in to episode 52 of Jude's Word, Ctrl Alt Delete, Year 2, Deeper Conversations. Hey, y'all, check me out on all social media platforms. Hey, it's been a beautiful journey. Share with your friends. Share with a friend. Continue to tap that screen on TikTok so I can remain in your algorithm. Facebook Live, I appreciate y'all love. I appreciate y'all support, man. This has been a beautiful journey, and I'm going to continue to grow and continue to glow. If you want to take a ride with me, hop in the car with you, bro. We can bend a few corners. We're going to talk about uncomfortable conversations, things that nobody wants to address, but they're trying to sweep under the rug. Because accountability is the only way that we're going to be able to move forward in our life. That life that you dream about, that you want so bad that you can just feel it. Your dreams feel so real. That's what God's showing you what He has for you. We got to realize that. Look at everything from the spiritual side, not the carnal-minded side. Look at everything from the spiritual side, because everything is really, it's really a spiritual war. It's not about racism. It's not about going to war, all this stuff. Man, listen, it's a spiritual war going on right now. And you need to wake up. You need to pour into yourself where you can set the example for your kids so they won't be lost in the hype. I pray that y'all enjoyed the live today. I pray that you guys had a great day today. I know y'all finna get ready to go to bed because everybody got to hit that clock in the morning. Hey, y'all have a blessed night, all right? I love y'all. Y'all can't do nothing about it. Peace.